Hello and welcome to Modern Self-Protection. I'm Ben Branham, and we're going to do a 5-minute Friday here in the truck while I'm driving around. These are going to be quick little tips and things that I see around our life and that I gather as I go around work and school and hanging out with my kid and all that stuff. Just more reminders of what you can do better to help yourself defend yourself and your family. And today I thought I'd start where I normally start on everything. The most important thing you can do for your self-defense. It's your mindset. It always has been and always will be. I remember talking to cops that were 60 years old, 70 years old, trainers, been training LAPD forever, and it was always, they'd go teach officer, they call it officer survival, that was their tactical classes at the time. They would teach officer survival, and it was always, oh, what's big in officer survival now? Nothing. They always say there's nothing new. Complacency will get you killed. Well, same here. Same with all of our stuff. Same with what you do every day. You got to have the mindset to be able to defend yourself and your family above all else. If you don't have the mindset to defend yourself and your family, no matter what you learn, no matter where you go, no matter what kind of super duper Jeet Kune Do, whatever martial arts Chuck Norris you think you are, it's never going to work. You'll always be you'll always be I can't say surprised. You'll always be surprised by anything that happens. You'll never be ready for it. And then once it does happen, it'll take you too long to figure out what to do and how to go with it if you aren't in the correct mindset. When I teach my firearms classes, mindset is 3 simple, easy things to get through your little head over there. 3 things. Super simple. First one, it can happen to you. It's the one thing law enforcement knows that most civilians don't. You know, all those bad guys, those 3-time felons, the murderers, the rapists, all that, they're around you every day. You stop at the stop and rob, they're in line behind you. You go to get gas, they got gas. You take your kid to school, they take their kids to school. These people are there. They're around us every day. And I have numbers and blah, blah, blah that I try to extrapolate how many of these people are. But you just got to accept that it can happen to you because these bad guys are with you all the time. You know, we don't want to think about it. I live in a nice neighborhood. I lock my doors. I know my neighbors. You know, I know all this kung fu stuff. Not really, but I do have a lot of training in self-defense and firearm self-defense, and I train people on it, so I'm pretty good at it. But still, it can happen to me just like it could happen to you. And you got to accept that it can happen to you. If you accept that it can happen to you, then you're of the mindset that, hey, I can do something about this. The second thing, violence. It's a way of life for most bad guys. You have to be able to use enough violence. And there's your number 2 point. You have to use enough violence to be able to win. And some of that violence might be just yelling at the guy and they'll get out of there. I mean, I've had self-defense encounters where I literally yelled at the guy, hey, get the F out of here. And he goes, okay, and he turns around and leaves. Didn't have to draw my gun, didn't have to do anything else, and that was actually to help somebody else. That wasn't to... This guy was panhandling, he came up to me and I said, hey, no, go away. And then he's following these women, and I could tell he's looking for somebody to victimize. So I'm like, hey. And he looks at me and I'm like, get the F out of here. And he goes, okay, and he's gone. Easiest self-defense encounter you'll ever have, right? So you got to be able to use enough violence, and normally that's not going to do it. I was prepared to use whatever violence that guy needed to, leave people alone. If it was to yell at him, if it was my presence, if it was going to go fisticuffs, if it was going to go to guns, I am prepared to do whatever is necessary to make these guys leave me alone. And that includes a lot of violence. That includes death, destruction, mayhem, all of that. That includes whatever needs to be done. And it's grotesque and everything else. But these guys do violence as a way of life. You're a nice person, you've got to be able to do that much violence and probably more than them so that you can win. So you just got to be prepared for that. Pointing a gun at somebody doesn't always work. Be prepared to use enough violence. Be prepared to use a lot of violence would probably be a better way to put it. And the last one, Churchill said it back in World War II. Never give up, never give up, never give up. You just gotta keep going. No matter what happens, don't give up. If you give up and you try to fight, if you try to fight and then you give up and then you sit down, whew, that guy is going to be mad at you. That person that's robbing you, that's robbing the store, you're going to get really, really hurt. Once you start, you can't stop. The only time you can stop is if they run away or give up or they're dead, incapacitated. That's it. Just keep going. Really, never give up, never give up, never give up. If you just keep going in a fight, sooner or later that other person, they're going to give up, you're going to win, or they don't want to play anymore, which is they want to give up, really. You know, you're going to win or they're going to give up. They'll get out tired, they'll make a mistake, they don't want to, there's a million, you inflicted enough damage, they don't want to play anymore, or you inflict enough damage where they can't stand anymore and they're done. You'll know when you're done because you'll pass out. Taught that in the Marine Corps. It's an amazing thing if you can just get that through your little head that I'm going to go until I pass out and don't know anything anymore. Well, then it won't be your problem. It'll be done. But if you just keep going, sooner or later you can make the other person have that issue and you can win. So 3 things for your mindset. It can happen to you. You've got to use enough violence or a lot of violence. Be prepared for violence. And then the third one, just never give up. Do those 3 things. Get them into your soul, into your psyche. Think about them a lot, and it will be one of the best things you could ever do for your self-defense. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm Ben Branham with Modern Self-Protection. You can go to modernselfprotection.com. Check out the website there. Check out a podcast. Check out other videos like this. And check out posts on other things going on in the self-defense and firearms world.